So we're looking at the picture on page 20. Looks like a desert, doesn't it? It's really sandy. What else do you notice?
There's some people.
People, for sure.
They're in a hole.
Looks like it's a dugout hole, excavated hole. What do you think, Colin?
If you see right by the hill,
Yeah?
it's like a weirdish kind of orange color.
Yeah, I agree with you. So coloration is different from the base versus the slopes, for sure. And like up top, you kind of see green a little bit in some areas. Yeah, I agree. Let's switch over and look at the caption, see what it says. Although Madagascar is famous for its tropical forests, its extreme south suffers from severe drought. So in Madagascar, you've got areas of forests that are tropical, but you also have areas of desert, like we just saw. Now, let's take a little map. Look again. We already mapped it out on a previous slide, but we're in Africa and Madagascar on the far bottom eastern corner.
Did you live in the tropical part?
Not at all. Okay. All right, chapter 4. Let's learn about this man from Madagascar. We do know that Mike has been living in Madagascar and has been digging there with his wife, Karen, too. Okay? All right, eyes on your book. Mike got to dig at the most famous site in England because he came to know a man from an island half a world away. That is the wonderful twist of the story of Stonehenge. We don't live in the world I grew up reading about, where great men from Europe and America were the only master archaeologists. Instead, it took a man from Madagascar to understand ancient England. For most people, if they had heard of Madagascar at all, it's because of an animated movie. We already talked about that. You like to move it, move it. That movie is what most people know Madagascar from. Or because they know about the famous lemurs, another rare species that live nowhere else on Earth. That is true. So that part of that movie is actually factual. Jackson put it up. So most people know it from the movie or from the weird animals that live there. But the island is also home to people who have their own fascinating history. In 1991, eyes on your book, Mike and Karen began visiting the island to study the past. 3 days drive from the capital. Let's see if I can do this one. Antananarivo lies Madagascar's hot, dry southern coast. In the picture to the left-hand side. Okay? Lies Madagascar's hot, dry southern coast. This seems like the last place people would live. Even the trees grow thorns and some are poisonous. But the desert-like hills and plains hide buried remains from over 1,000 years of human settlement. Each morning, Mike and his team emerged from their tents and climbed into the Land Rover and headed out to look for archaeological. Turn the page. Why aren't you turning for me? Oh my goodness. Hold on. Okay. Sites. That's the last word. Luke, yes.
So on the last page,
Jace, take your book out.
I'm guessing that's where they was digging. Is that
Yeah. Mhm.
Would they be allowed to drive their those things that said they were gonna
Land
run
Rovers.
to the
Not inside. If it's part of the site, you can't drive on it. No. Okay? I do reserve the right to make you take your book out because if I'm seeing y'all going like this, I'm going to make you take your book out instead of using the Epic site. Okay? All right. So now we got a ton of pictures. We're going to pause and look at these. Here's a picture right here. Mike worked with local archaeologist Ramisilonina. Yes, I'm getting it. And his colleague, Retisihaste in southern Madagascar. So we've got Mike right here, Ram in the middle, and then Rhett right here. Not even, no. Ramisilonina I've actually gotten pretty down. So they're here together in southern Madagascar. Now let's scroll down and look at these two. Does the terrain look totally different than it did in England? Yeah, for sure. Local people, especially the children, always join the digs in Madagascar. So we also have a different process that they're using. Do they let other people come and help? Yeah, they do. Whereas we've learned that a lot of archaeology sites don't. Here they did. And the whole point of that is because you can't really stop it. So why not? All right, let's scroll up and read the rest. Would they find more of the stone-walled remains of a lost civilization from 1,000 years ago? Or might they find remains of even older ancient campsites where people had collected the eggshells of extinct giant elephant birds, the largest avian species that ever lived? Back in England in 1998, after the summer's fieldwork was over, Mike got a call. A BBC TV crew was doing a documentary on Stonehenge, and the director had a brilliant idea. While people in Madagascar live in wooden houses, they build big tombs out of stone for the dead. So, what could that have to do with Stonehenge? Raise your hand. Draw some similarities. Go ahead.
The reason why they made like Stonehenge is because it said in the passage that they built houses out of stone.
Okay, let's think about it. You're on the right track, Isaac. So the stones in Stonehenge could also represent the dead, like they do in Madagascar. Does that happen in America too? Yeah, you use the word or phrase headstone specifically. That could be true. We get that from somewhere, don't we? We didn't just make it up all of a sudden in the 19th century. We get it from tradition. That could be part of it.
Is that all cemeteries have those stones?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Good ideas.
And that one picture at the very beginning of the book, it showed the dude riding his horse around it.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm thinking that
Yeah.
would be like where like a hideout used to be for like the war.
Could be like a fort, maybe. Let's finish that sentence and we'll write some things down. Perhaps the TV director thought a person from society that treats stones as so important would have a fresh insight into Stonehenge. So here's how we get where we got before. Turn back to your text. Whoops, whatever that was. Yes, of course, always delete type here. Pages 20 through 22. In Madagascar, met man named Ram Sil. Oh, Nina. And in parentheses, we're going to put Ram. In Madagascar, met man named Ram Silanina, Ram, and found they used stone to commemorate their dead. Let me move my face. Commemorate their dead. They used stone to commemorate their dead. Connor, I know you don't have all that written down. Type. Madagascar met a man named Ram Silanina, Ram. Found they used stone to commemorate their dead.
Do we need to put Ram in?
Yes, because we're going to refer to him as Ram from now on to keep the typing fast. Ram. Oh no. Okay. So he thought, what if Ram could help us figure some stuff out about Stonehenge? Because it seems like maybe they have similar things with their stone monuments, possibly. So they're going to use Ram to help them at, and remember we're abbreviating Stonehenge, SH. Use Ram to help them at Stonehenge.
I feel like the question now has a lot of these people.
Commemorate is harder. Don't panic about that one. Don't worry about that yet. Hopefully. Hopefully. Stay on task. But hopefully. Found they used stone to commemorate their dead. Use Ram to help them at Stonehenge, possibly. This is where the idea all starts. So they started in 91, and then they had the BBC documentary in 98. That's already a 7-ish years. It's a long time.
Whenever you do this, why do you put a dot between
Stonehenge, just do. Let's go 2-3. Hold on, I'll be back. Let's look at these pictures. Ooh, that's a beautiful landscape. I'm going to read the caption. Yeah. Many of the trees in southern Madagascar have spines or are poisonous. And then lastly, this is a picture of Ramsilanina. Ramsilanina at West Kennet Long Barrows, a prehistoric burial around Avebury in England, 1998. So Ram actually came with them. No, Ram came with them to England. This is in 98, y'all. It's not that long ago.
Yeah, he changed colors.
No, not quite. So this is Ram. He's come with them. Let's read and see what specifics we're missing. Mike knew just the right person. Ramsilanina, he has one name, no last name. That's what they mean by that. Is a retired archaeologist who was born in Madagascar and has devoted his life to studying its myths, its history, and the story of its people. Ramsilanina had visited England once before, but he was thrilled to come back. He hadn't visited any archaeological sites on his previous trip, so Stonehenge was completely new to him. So he just went to England for something different. Mike was bringing a person who could see the ancient stone circle with fresh eyes. So let's end this one. We're going to do chapter 5 too with page 23. Brought Ram to England, and in hopes that he can see it with a totally new perspective. Brought Ram to England.
Is it going to say what the stones end up meaning in this book?
Possibly, yes. But we're going to do some extended research on that too, because there have been new developments since this book was published.
I thought they was just
What?
I thought they know what they mean.
No. They know more, but no. They're close.